Hello there, it's my absolute great pleasure having you company tonight on Rwanda Television News. Thank you very much for starting off the week with us here on our edition, and this is what is coming up. The Gasabo Intermediate Court has decided to notify Kabuga Felicien on the lawsuit that was filed by Ibuka seeking to freeze Kabuga's Rwanda-based assets. Healthcare practitioners are currently being trained on the new way of diagnosing a type of tuberculosis which affects other organs of the body other than just the lungs. We are very glad to have you in company tonight and coming to you straight from the heart of Africa, Kigali. My name is Sam Kalisa. And as we begin of our tonight's edition, let us inform you that pursuant to the Constitution of the Republic of Rwanda, especially in its Article 112, pursuant also to the Law number 14 of 2013 of 25th of March 2013, determining the organization and functioning of the province, especially in its Article 9. Today, the 28th of August 2023, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Rwanda, has removed from duties the following officials: Mr. François Habitegeko, who was the governor of the Western Province, and Ms. Esperance Mokamana, who was the Director General of the National Land Authority. Done at Kigali, 28th August 2023, on behalf of His Excellency, President of the Republic of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, signed Dr. Edouard Ngirente, Rwanda's Prime Minister. Ahead to justice matters, the Gasabo Intermediate Court has decided to notify Kabuga Felicien on the lawsuit that was filed by the Ibuka seeking to freeze Kabuga's Rwanda-based assets. Adam Squizera starts us off tonight.
Ibuka, the umbrella organization of survivors of the 1994 genocide against Tutsi, fulfilled all requirements to notify Kabuga Felicien the case of properties damaged due to his actions before unduring genocide against Tutsi. The Ibuka's lawyer, Bayingana Janvier, noted that on the side of Ibuka, all the requirements was fulfilled on time.
The Ibuka, and as an umbrella of Genocide Survivors Association, has addressed its request, it's a formal request to the registrar or to the registry of MICT. I'm seeing this residual mechanism for the both tribunal, for ICTY, for the former Yugoslavia and Rwanda, to seek his assistance as the custodian of the detention facilities within the UN, so that Mr. Kabuga can be summoned. So on the ground of that particular request, there was a directive for the election issued by the registrar of that particular residual mechanism, not appointing or coming up with various options, and out of the many options, he has highlighted the role of diplomatic channel, where the Rwandan embassy based in Netherlands would be involved in that particular process of summoning Mr. Kabuga in conjunction or in the full support with the detention facilities or United Detention Unity, where Mr. Kabuga is currently detained.
This case is taking place after the International Residual Mechanism for Criminal Tribunals (IRMCT) ruled to stop the trial of Kabuga Felicien on the crimes he was charged related to the complicity in genocide and other crimes related against humanity. However, Ibuka points out that this decision will not bother them from processing this case of genocide major sponsor to compensate damaged properties.
It was a matter regarding whether Mr. Kabuga has been lawful summoned. That's the issue of summoning. The issue number two, it was an issue of where there is a court order seeking the Rwanda, the Rand Center, the Rand Center in charge of in charge of the Rand and other related matters, to disclose any relationship between what has been submitted before the court, any link between Kabuga himself and the asset as submitted before the court of law. So another issue that has been abruptly, not abrupt as such, but raised before the court of law, it was an issue of immovable properties. Immovable properties here I refer to bank accounts, motor vehicles, and some other issues. Those are three things.
The judge decided that the court itself is going to notify Kabuga Felsier about the case and its status, which in case he wouldn't be available or his legal representatives announced anything, the court itself will take other decisions. It is a decision that is well received by Ibuka lawyers.
In my capacity of the lawyer sitting before the court of law, I politely received it. I politely, because it is my duty to respect the court order. Mainly when the court order does not intend to suspend the proceedings, right? And I politely and I salute the court decision because it does not infringe one way or the other, the proceedings already initiated. But I think any survivor, genocide survivor, who waited, who spent 30 years for Mr. Kabuga without justice, right? I think we may not have the same way of understanding. But since here I'm not speaking as a genocide survivors, I'm speaking as a lawyer. But at the same time as their representative, one way, I'm saluting this decision as a lawyer, but on the other way, I'm very much disappointed because there's nothing to celebrate in this matter.
Although the exact value of his Rwanda-based properties remains unclear, they are believed to be worth billions of Rwandan francs. Ibuka has previously demanded the compensation worth of $50 million. The 90-year-old, a businessman before and during the genocide against Tutsi, is charged with 7 counts, including genocide, complicity in genocide, direct public incitement to commit genocide, attempt to commit genocide, and conspiracy to commit genocide. Other charges are prosecution and examination, both as crimes against humanity. In addition to use Radio RTLM, a media house he owned, to propagate anti-Tutsi propaganda and fuel hatred and killings against them. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
And to economic matters, analysts as well as private sector practitioners noted that Rwanda's economic growth has hit for the first time a rate of more than 10% in the last 6 years, even though it was shaken and hit by the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war, plus the hiking in prices of commodities on the market. Adams continues.
In 2024 presidential term, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Kagame, informed the members of the government to get prepared and remember that the country has particular problems. He noted this after receiving the oath of the members of the government on 31st August 2017. The head of state urged them to be characterized by extraordinary performance. That's our uniqueness, which are the issues we have that are not similar to others. In order to solve them, we have to set some ways, culture, and activities which are not similar to others. Because we don't have the same problems, we always repeat this, since you are aware of them, but you forget them. On 26 October 2017, the Prime Minister presented to the members of the Parliament about the National Strategy for Transformation, NST1, which was expected to lay the foundation for decades of sustained growth and transformation that will accelerate the move towards achieving high standards of living for all Rwandans. All began well until in 2020, after the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, whereas led after the slowdown of that pandemic. In Western world, there was an outbreak of Russian-Ukraine war. plus the natural disasters that made the government take some measures to fight all such calamities. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, the country's GDP was at a rate of 9.4%, whereas this rate downstepped to 3.4%, below zero in 2020 due to the effects of this pandemic. However, in 2021, for the first time, the country's GDP has reached up to 2 digits of 10.9%, while in 2024, reached to the increase rate of 8.2%. However, the government says some ways of dealing with this problem by subsidizing taxes on fuel to prevent their prices from hiking, and the government also subsidized taxes on essential goods from the countries outside the East African community. The Prime Minister, Dr. Edouard Ngirente, believes that the economy will be recovered in various sectors due to the recovery fund that was established. Visually of $1.3 billion were registered. Export earnings in 2022 were $2.9 billion from $2.1 billion, which made up an increase of 40.5%. In 2022, the income from tourism sector reached to $445 million from $164 million earned by this sector in 2021. Francois Kanimba, a former cabinet member, notes that for the country to have sustainable economy requires the service sector to be strengthened first.
Kugeza ubu iyo urebye usanga urwego rwa serivisi
Currently, you find that the service sector is showing the economic opportunities Rwanda has, and I think that in the coming years, the path we are in for developing this service, since you know that Rwanda in size is small, but the service are everywhere across the world, since you know you can provide a service without moving anywhere. That's why Rwanda gained such opportunities. It is expected that until 2024, the increase of the industrial production will reach to $400 million savings on what used to be imported. The infrastructure sector, such as roads, technology, and electricity, is one of the important factors that supported the economic development activities to achieve government's plan in the last 6 years, which is coming to its end. Adams Kwizera, RTV News.
The participants of the East African Province Trade Fair, which was concluded on Sunday, say that the exposition was an opportunity to share knowledge about adding value to agriculture and livestock products. The Minister of Trade and Industry declares that these exhibitions play an important role in helping those who want to innovate do so in different sectors and ways. We do have the details. The Eastern Province exhibition was dominated by agriculture and livestock products. Exhibitors showcased innovative solutions including value addition for agriculture and livestock products. They testify that the exhibition was a platform to share knowledge and ideas.
The new one which we bring here is to give everyone, the higher and the lowest one, who need coffee. You can taste to drink coffee. You know, in our country, our government say, drink less. Drink less the beer. That's why we encourage them to drink coffee, because coffee is good for our life and our health.
The special thing we brought was a new product on the market. We brought a new product, cooking oil, vegetable cooking oil, triple refined, best quality so far, be it oil inside, be it the packaging itself. And another new thing we brought is the way of marketing. We tried to make sure that we design everything around here. We tried to modify our stall. That's why we ended up becoming the first in the whole exposition. It's all because how much energy we put in, and it's what we had brought for Rwandans.
The chairperson of the Private Sector Federation in the Eastern Province, Nkurunziza Jean Dodier, announced plans to expand the exhibition land area and capacity.
It is clear
that they still want to carry on with trading activities, and we gave a go-ahead to those who still want to. We will put in efforts so that next time, even after the exhibition closes, trading can continue. Regarding the working space, we are currently working from Rwamagana district, but in partnership with the province and private sector practitioners, We want to enlarge the exhibition area and build permanent spaces. We have the land already, and the next step is gathering the capacity to construct a permanent and modern exhibition area.
Tuzashaka ubushobozi tukahubaka none tugakorera ahantu hacu ku buryo bizadufasha kugira aho dukorera hacu hahoraho.
The Ministry of Trade and Industry notes that the provincial exhibitions play an important role in the country's development as well as enhancing innovation.
This exhibition from Eastern Province, we are closing in now. It has been there almost for 12 days. As you saw, we are happy because there is a diversification in terms of products and new people, many people coming from abroad, not only Rwanda. So this is a policy-wise a way the government can reach easily and can support the private sector federation to work together. So we are happy because this is the second time I come here in Eastern Province. But what I saw is promising, that meaning that we are becoming more competitive and it will be very easy to reach the markets out here in Africa and in other countries. So we have challenges, of course. We're still working on standardization. We're still working on putting more emphasis on processing, mainly from agriculture and livestock. We're still working mainly on made in Rwanda to make sure that we can handle problems we have, but we are happy. We are happy about the progress.
What is the contribution of this exhibition in the development of country?
It's very important. This is the exhibition at the province level. As you know, we have 5 provinces, including Kigali. So it is a way to gather together and to understand exactly where we are in terms of decentralization and implementing business-wise side of each province and of course of each district. So it's very important in the contribution, and it's very important even to make sure that we can see where we are as a country level, to understand where we can put more effort and where we can support and where we can assess ourselves in order to plan ahead.
The Eastern Province exhibition had been ongoing for 12 days. It was attended by 190 exhibitors, both local and international. Football experts demonstrate that the Visit Rwanda FC Bayern Munich deal is an extraordinary opportunity for Rwanda's sports and economic sector's development.
Welcome to the FC Bayern family.
August 27, 2023 marked the official announcement that the Visit Rwanda is an official platinum partner of the Bundesliga giants FC Bayern Munich. Football experts say that this is a great step Rwanda has made.
Bayern
is one of the greatest football clubs in Europe, not only in Germany. PSG is a great team locally, but not the most famous like Marseille. Arsenal in England is the best locally, but there are also other greater teams. But Bayern is great locally and internationally. It has many cups locally than any other, and it has currently 6 UEFA Champions League cups. This means that having a deal with Bayern, it is another dimension. In Europe, it has 6 Champions League cups, 1 shot behind the Real Madrid and AC Milan, which means that it is in the first 3 teams in Europe. It is even more developed locally in terms of fan base and having great players. It is a great team.
We'll move ahead to other matters. The Development Bank of Rwanda, under its program of supporting small and medium-sized businesses, also known as SMEs, to access finance, has signed a new partial credit guarantee agreement with different financial institutions. In the revised agreements, it is expected that BDF will guarantee 50% of the loans for the projects of male entrepreneurs, while the projects of special categories, including women and the youth, will be guaranteed at an average of 75%. The Chief Executive Officer of BRD, Kameta Sainzoga, noted that this revised agreement will increase the number of people who request or who acquire loans from financial institutions.
And the BDF team, and a lot of the transactions that we do, our clients need support in terms of collateral, in terms of technical assistance, and so many other services. So we're always happy to have a partner that can provide this support. We believe in the spirit of partnership, and one of the key areas that we have developed as BRD now focus is to allow small and medium enterprises to grow and to grow to scale. And growing is not easy if your assets remain the same. So it's very important as we try to grow our small and medium enterprises that they benefit from BDF guarantees, so that as they grow and have access to more loans, they also have access to more guarantees and they get to reach the objective. We also have a second objective, which is to help the current enterprises to have more value addition, more use of knowledge, so that they can participate actively in a knowledge-based economy. Whether we're talking about agriculture, industry, services, they all need more knowledge for us to have more value addition. And this product that we've just signed, the partial credit guarantee, is going to be key in making sure that they have access to financing to be able to grow their knowledge base. So it's always a pleasure to partner. As you've said, we've been partners for a very long time, and we're happy to see this partnership continuing. But I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate you and thank you. The reason why we're signing today is because you have brought innovation in the way we can call on the partial credit guarantee. So this is good for the banks, it's good for business, it's good for our clients, and we're very happy to see that BDF was responsive to the queries that have been put forward by the financial sector. So I know it's not always easy in the service industry to change products, but we're very happy to see that the BDF team has managed to change this product for the better. And I can guarantee you that the business team that is here is going to take full advantage of it to make sure that our SMEs can benefit as well. So it's to congratulate you for this innovation and tell you we are part of the process, and we look forward to more innovations as always. But this is definitely increasing the confidence and the trust.
A great and significant deal indeed, as the agreement covers about 500 financial institutions, savings and credit cooperatives, also known as SACCOs, and various commercial banks operating in the country. Leading to health matters, healthcare providers and practitioners are currently being trained on a new way of diagnosing a type of tuberculosis that affects other organs of the body other than just the lungs. This type of tuberculosis also takes lives of many people when not diagnosed earlier. We do have the details with Olive Nete.
For some of the patients who tested negative to tuberculosis via the usually known way of testing TB, but were later on diagnosed with TB using ultrasound. Tuberculosis is usually known as a disease that affects lungs, but through this way, it has been also revealed that it affects other parts of the body, including liver, kidney, intestines, and other parts.
I used to come to the hospital and they would take tests, but they would not find the disease, and later on they did an ultrasound test and they then diagnosed the disease, and then I started taking medication.
One side of my body became paralyzed and I started having difficulty in breathing, to the point where I even lost my voice and I couldn't speak properly. I truly had difficulty in breathing. Every year in Rwanda, 5,000 people are diagnosed with TB. Among them, 400 died due to this disease. Physicians in various hospitals around the country note that using ultrasound, they will be able to diagnose this type of TB that affects other organs of the body.
We use
the ultrasound machine to see if we can find ganglions that can be found in people's abdomen, or at times you would find that the patient has fluids in the abdomen. By not using ultrasound, it was hard to diagnose it, but whenever there is a patient with TB symptoms, we will use this method, because before knowing this method, it was really hard to diagnose.
The ultrasound helps us to see clearly the organs in the abdomen. We can also see the functioning of the heart, and if there is any abnormal fluid buildup around the heart, it is easily seen through the ultrasound. With this method and other symptoms, we can diagnose tuberculosis. We can even start giving them medication, and this helps patients to recover.
In various hospitals around the country, physicians are being trained on how to diagnose TB that affects other parts of the body other than the lungs. Dr. Aline Munyanshongore, a doctor in the division that fights against tuberculosis and other respiratory diseases at the Rwanda Biomedical Center, points out that there is 10% of the TB that affects other organs that is usually hardly diagnosed.
indwara y'igituntu tuzi ko ari indwara iterwa na turiya dukoko twa baside kuko ikaba ikunda gufata imyanya y'ubuhumekero.
Tuberculosis is usually known to be caused by a bacterium called Mycobacterium tuberculosis, but it is known to affect respiratory parts, mostly lungs. In more than 90% cases, it affects lungs, but it also affects other parts of the body. Due to the fact that TB, which affects other parts of the body, is hardly diagnosed, sometimes people die due to that cause. The reason we as RBC enforce such trainings is to assist physicians so that they can also be skilled in other methods of diagnosing that type of TB, for them to diagnose it earlier and to assist patients to receive treatment on time so that they can recover. Globally in 2021, approximately 10,600,000 people were diagnosed with tuberculosis. Among them, 1,600,000 people died due to TB in that same year.
And this marks the end of our tonight's edition. On behalf of the entire news production, as well as the technical team, many thanks for being with us. Up until next time, stay safe and have a great week ahead. Goodbye.